Somewhere in America right now, there is a man using the same wrench his grandfather bought in 1958. It has never been repaired. It has never been replaced. It just works. Meanwhile, the brand new tool set someone bought last Christmas is already stripping bolts and cracking at the handle. The difference is not luck. It is not brand loyalty. It is a deliberate manufacturing decision. Today we are exposing exactly which brands still make that decision the right way. 7 brands. All American forged steel. All backed by lifetime warranties. All free from private equity ownership. From ratchets that survive over 1,000 Newton meters of torque to pliers rated against thousands of volts, these are the only tool makers that earned a place on this list, and the first one has been proving it since 1920. Number 1. Snap-on sets the standard for tools that outlast trends, owners, and even entire shops. Every Snap-on ratchet starts with AISI 10-8-1 chrome vanadium steel, American milled, oil-quenched, and tempered to a Rockwell hardness of 55 to 58 HRC. That is not marketing fluff. It is the difference between a tool that shrugs off a seized bolt at 1,200 Newton meters of torque and a big box ratchet that explodes at a third of that. The 72 tooth gear design means a 5-degree swing arc, tight enough to work behind a firewall or inside a transmission tunnel, where every click counts. Snap-on's lab specs are not theoretical either. Independent torque bench testing shows these ratchets surviving overloads that double their rated capacity, while the competition strips, skips, or shatters. For mechanics, that margin is not just peace of mind, it is money. Snap-on's unconditional lifetime warranty is as real as it gets. Break it, and the truck route brings a replacement to your bay. No questions asked. That is why professional shops buy Snap-on once and never again. Subscribe, because we are just getting started. In second place, Klein Tools draws a hard line between survival and disaster for anyone who works live. Founded in 1857 and still family-owned, Klein forges every insulated plier from AISI 5140 steel at its Rogers Park plant in Chicago. The handles are not just dipped in rubber for show, they are engineered with a patented layered grip, individually tested to survive a 2,500 volt jolt with zero current leakage. That is not just lab talk. OSHA's case files document a near-fatal arc flash in Dallas, where a non-Klein plier failed and sent a journeyman to the ER with burns. The next day, the same panel was serviced with a Klein plier. No arc, no injury. Dielectric test sheets confirm it. Klein's insulation holds beyond the required 1,000 volts, shrugging off 3,000 volts without a trace of leakage. The steel is heat-treated to a consistent 48 to 52 HRC, balancing toughness and flex so the jaws do not chip or shatter under load. Their unlimited lifetime warranty is plain. Break it, replace it, no fine print. For electricians, that is not just a promise, it is a lifeline. In a market flooded with plastic-dipped imitations, Klein proves that real safety is built, not branded. Third on our list, Channellock is proof that real precision isn't a marketing slogan. It is a measurement you can hold in your hand. Every tongue and groove plier coming out of Meadville, Pennsylvania starts with a bar of AISI 4140 steel, drop forged and oil quenched to a consistent 50 to 54 HRC. But what sets Channellock apart isn't just the metallurgy, it's the way their dual die forging process delivers jaw tolerances of plus or minus 0.01 millimeters tighter than a human hair. That means when you clamp down, the jaws stay parallel no matter the load. In factory load cell tests, these pliers exert 1,250 newtons of grip, enough to lift a 250 kilogram engine block without a hint of slip. Try that with a discount brand copy, and you'll see the jaws flex, the teeth strip, or the whole joint pop loose under half that load. Channellock's field demo isn't just for show. It's a direct challenge to the pot metal loose joint imitations flooding the market. The Giddings family still owns every decision, and every tool comes with a lifetime warranty that means what it says. Break it and they will replace it. No questions, no paperwork. That's what you get when a company refuses to leave its hometown or cut corners on the forge. Channellock's grip is measured in microns, but the difference is something you feel every time the job demands more than a casual squeeze. Number 4. Estwing is what happens when a company refuses to compromise on the most basic question in toolmaking: will it survive the next swing? Every Estwing hammer starts as a single billet of AISI 1045 steel, forged in Rockford, Illinois, and oil quenched to a uniform 48 to 52 HRC. There are no welds, no glue, no hidden pins, just a continuous grain from head to handle. That is not just a point of pride, it is the reason demolition crews and framers trust these hammers to take thousands of blows without the head walking off or the neck flexing until it snaps. Accelerometer tests show Estwing's shock absorbing grip cuts vibration by 30% compared to a standard steel handle, real numbers that mean less fatigue, fewer injuries, and more control when you are swinging for hours. In lab impact cycles, Estwing hammers have survived over 10,000 full-force strikes with zero separation or cracking, while cast competitors start to fail before 3,000. Scanning electron microscopy reveals a uniform martensitic structure across the hammer's length. No grain boundaries, no weak points for cracks to start. That is why, for anyone who actually works with a hammer every day, Estwing's one-piece design is not just old school, it is the only approach that stands up to the job site and the test of time. Number 5. Wright Tool does not just promise durability, it delivers it at the microscopic level. Every socket and ratchet starts with Wright's proprietary X-alloy, a chromium molybdenum vanadium blend that pushes carbon content to nearly 0.9%. But the chemistry is only half the story. Wright's forging process goes beyond the standard single die strike. After the first hit, each blank is reheated to 1,800 degrees Fahrenheit and struck again, driving the grain size down to 8 microns or less. The result? A 12mm socket that holds up to 360 Newton meters of torque before failure, about 70% higher than the average big box equivalent, which typically splits at 210 Newton meters. Dr. Helen Cho, a metallurgist from the University of Michigan, verified a 20% gain in yield strength from this extra forging step, meaning these sockets do not just survive, they shrug off loads that would twist or shatter lesser tools. With a measured hardness of 58 to 60 on the Rockwell C scale and a written lifetime warranty that covers real industrial abuse, Wright Tool is not just keeping up, they are setting the bar for metallurgical excellence in American toolmaking. Number 6. Vaughan is where old-world craftsmanship meets practical, field-tested design, right down to the handle you can swap out yourself. Every Vaughan hammer and chisel starts with a head forged from AISI 1080 high carbon steel, heat treated to a Rockwell hardness of 55 to 58 HRC. That is not just a number, it is the difference between a chisel edge that holds up through months of framing and one that mushrooms or chips after a single job. But Vaughan's real signature is the American hickory handle, fitted with a mortise and tenon joint that absorbs shock without sacrificing rigidity. Lab flex tests show Vaughan's hickory handles deflect just 0.85 millimeters under a 150 Newton load, almost half the flex of a fiberglass competitor at 1.4 millimeters. For carpenters, that means less vibration in the wrist, less fatigue at the end of the day, and a tool that won't split or splinter when it matters most. And when a handle finally does wear out, a replacement costs just $3. No need to toss the steel head or buy a whole new tool. Vaughan's St. Louis factory still runs their own kiln, curing hickory sourced from American forests. Every finished tool carries a lifetime warranty, backed by the same family that started the business in 1912. In a market obsessed with disposable everything, Vaughan proves that repairability is not just nostalgia, it is an economic advantage built right into the tool. Number 7. Wilde Tool is the name stamped on pry bars that do not just claim strength, they prove it, one certificate at a time. Every Wilde pry bar starts as a billet of AISI 4140 steel, drop forged and oil quenched to a hardness of 50 to 54 HRC. That is not a random number. It is the difference between a bar that bends when you need to pry a seized bearing and one that holds its shape cycle after cycle. The secret is the Wilde lock, a self-locking cam mechanism that clamps down and resists slippage, even after 10,000 torque cycles. Lab logs show just a 2% torque loss after that punishment, while off-brand bars often slip or deform long before. But Wilde does not ship on faith. Each bar leaves the Cincinnati floor with a signed certificate confirming it survived a 9.2 kilonewton load-to-failure test. That is a level of documented accountability you will not find in mass-market packaging. Tom Wilde, third-generation engineer, puts it plainly: if it does not meet spec, it does not leave the building. Our name is on every bar. In a market where quality control is an afterthought and warranties are riddled with loopholes, Wilde's family-run operation stands as a quiet rebuke, proof that real-world strength comes from hands-on ownership and a paper trail that backs every claim. Across these 7 brands, one fact is clear: true longevity is engineered, not accidental. Every strip screw and flexing handle today is a corporate decision to cut corners. The companies that refuse to compromise are the exception. That's the difference between tools you inherit and tools you regret.